It has been my absolute privilege and pleasure and honor to direct the Shakespeare Summer Camp for over a decade now, and the Groundlings, which was a direct outgrowth of that. I remember when camp first started, and it was a group of about 5 or 6 kids in our then basement, our dank basement offices on Ray Street, and the program has grown so much since then, and we now see 20 times that number of kids each summer. And we get these kids who are so amazingly supportive of each other. They all have that passion.
It never ceases to amaze me when I see the Groundlings come in every September, the ensemble that they form with each other.
My favorite thing is probably meeting all of the people there.
All the people are so welcoming and encouraging.
They're fiercely loyal to each other and also incredibly welcoming of anyone from the outside.
Groundlings is like a de-stressor. Like I get really stressed and then I'll come to Groundlings and it's just like, oh, it's so nice. It's a comfortable and happy place to grow.
And I've never been part of a group so wonderful.
Shakespeare Camp really helped give me an outlet. It allowed a chatty, precocious 11-year-old, I think was when I started it, hang out with other chatty, precocious 11-year-olds and get to be passionate about Shakespeare, get to be passionate about other things. I was very lucky in the high school that I went to, and I was very accepted there as well, but it led to some of my longest lasting and deepest friendships. I've got people who I've known for 15 years now because of Shakespeare Camp.
Shakespeare is a lot easier than pretty much anything else I read, which is interesting and weird, but I like it a lot.
I feel like I've grown up here at CSC, and I don't know who I would be without these experiences.
I mean, I've learned a lot of things, but I think mostly I've learned to be myself and respect who I am, even if other people don't care, because there's always some people who do,
Late life converts are the most unrelenting in pursuing their cause, credo, or enterprise. I suppose this would describe my interest in promoting Shakespeare's plays as early as they can fit into a school's curriculum. My own exposure was poor and paltry back in high school, and only 15 or so years ago, on a visit to my son and his family in Albuquerque, did I awaken to the immeasurable uses of the bard's words and their relevance to everyday life. My granddaughters were participating in a community production of Twelfth Night, and at breakfast one morning, after a list of the day's duties and instructions were assigned by my son to his 9th grader, she looked up from her cereal and declaimed, "Your railings are spoiling my soup." How wonderful, I thought, that she could talk back to her parents so eloquently. The next step, of course, was to engage our own Shakespeare company in setting up a summer program. And thanks to Jackie Demeline's introduction, I made contact with Jason Menadakis and Rebecca Bowman-Brommels, and the camp was born.
So in 1999, when I arrived at Cincinnati Shakespeare, we were told we need to start a summer camp, and LibStone has just one rule, and that is the idea that every child at the summer camp has to have a part, and at the end of the week, they put on a Shakespeare play. And it was an enormous challenge and a really different way to think about running a theater camp. So often theater camps and theater training for kids is in part about feeding the desire to make stars. Sometimes the kids' desire, sometimes the parents' desire. And Lib's really egalitarian sort of mission statement for the camp of every kid has a part really got baked into the structure then of the summer camp, and consequently baked into the structure of all the other educational programs that followed, the Groundlings Junior, and now Project 38. It made us as young artists who were running the program think really carefully about what we wanted camp to be and what we wanted the experience to be for those kids. They had a chance to speak up and say something, and every role was important, every role had its moment to shine. I think what's amazing about how these programs have grown and how the camp has grown is that idea of every kid has a voice. And at the end of Shakespeare Summer Camp, everyone feels like they've had a chance to speak their part. And I can see now in Project 38, the evolution. You have these kids digging into 400-year-old plays, but what they're discovering there is themselves. They're discovering their own contemporary culture. They're discovering their own values and their own identities and their own voices. And so that one idea of Libs at the very beginning has touched thousands of lives now as young people have discovered their voice.